All right, we're live. Just clean it up a bit here. A bit towards the. Check the stream on my phone. You have to excuse my voice. I'm a bit sick recently. Let's see. Yo, welcome to the stream. Welcome. 1 second. Just making sure everything's going good on the phone. There it is. Okay. There it is. Okay. That's cool. I can see myself. That's wicked. All right, nice. All right, let's get right to it then. I'll have that open. Hopefully there's no echo. We'll turn the. Is this good for y'all? I can always change it up a bit. I don't know if you remember IMS Animations. I do, in fact, remember you. Let's see. I might go with. Is this the short film I've been talking about? Yes, it is. I was thinking about going with a cinema. Hold on, let me point this to here. See about going with a cinema aspect ratio this time around. Tries to use cons. I don't know what that goes on about. All right, but I was thinking about going with a cinema aspect ratio, but I might keep it on YouTube just for now. You barely had 1,000 subs at the time? I did, yeah. I remember that was just over a year ago now, wasn't it? A little part fell off my computer. Interesting. But I'll probably keep it on YouTube aspect ratio just for now. I could probably close the stream on my phone. But yeah. Let's just get right into it. Before I get into this, I do want to show off the figures I'll be using. I do have this custom one. It is just wireframe, so nothing too special, but it is my first custom figure, which I am very proud of. Fully posable and everything, so probably be good. He is so cool, thanks. And I've just got this figure. It's just the Orion figure with the head turned around, because I do want to animate the face. Reminds you of the King Yellow. Partial inspiration, yeah. Took inspiration from a lot of different media for this. But yeah, this is just the Orion figure with the face, because, long animation, I do want to animate the face for it. Now, I should have some clay around here that I could use to keep these figures in place. Let's see here. I usually just have some spare around. It's never usually organized. I was also thinking about animating Iron Lung on stream. You'll have to tell me what you think about that idea. But that's the plan so far. Am I tweaking? Why is my computer vibrating? I didn't even know it could do that. But yeah, I'm just going to stick this guy to the base plate here. Welcome everyone to the stream, by the way, for anyone who just joined. Hopefully this doesn't wreck the fabric. This is the first time I've done this. Let me know if that'll happen, but regardless, I'll probably have to just suck it up, because I don't have any other methods of doing this. But so far it seems to be working pretty well. But yeah, I did spend maybe a day or two on this guy. He is so far my favorite thing to animate with. Very easy to move. Is this secret? Is it secret, or what is it going to be about? It's based on the story of one of my favorite songs, "Ruler of Everything" by Tally Hall. I heavily recommend it. But it is just kind of my own interpretation of the story as well. So it's not going to be exact or anything. I just wanted to make To be honest, I just wanted an excuse to try music. Since I am coming out with a rap song very soon, you're gonna love that, I hope. Zoom in a bit there. Looking good. Should I go listen to that real quick? It doesn't matter to me either way. But I do recommend listening to it at some point. But it won't be too relevant to this stream. I do appear to be running low on clay, though. That might be an issue. 1 second. This stand's kind of bugging. Got any Riz advice? You came to the wrong person, honestly. But, you know, if you're asking for Riz advice, I recommend none of my friends. I'll say that much. But no Riz advice from me. I don't have experience in that field. Now let's see here. That should fix the issue. There we go. Looking good now. We can just stick the phone to the thing with this clay. And that should be that solved. Maybe hold on. Yeah, this does usually take a while to set up, so you're going to have to bear with me here. But we are almost done here. We'll get to filming real quick. There we are. Nice and stable. Now, I'm not filming this in any sequential order. I did find that it's easiest to just go with what scenes I want to film, since it makes it more enjoyable for me and potentially you, the viewers. So that's going to be the plan. First order of advice is to pose this guy properly. If I could go back, I would put this robe on a bit more on the wire because it is a bit. I don't know if you get the idea, but there we go. And like that. That should work. Okay, and I'd say we're just about ready now. But you never know until you I don't know what the saying is, but you never know. So let's see here. Apology if it's quiet. I do just normally film in silence. I would have put something on to fill the noise, but if I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not sure if I would have liked that. There we go. How's that? That's looking pretty good. Now let's see here. Focus. That's pretty focused. Now let's see. This is actually the first time I will be filming with this figure. No rush, dog, but when's the song dropping? Ideally sometime this month. If not early April. I want to hear you do my beat. Yep, you're going to hear it real soon. Very nice beat, by the way. I did add a couple things just to more fit the vibe I was going for, but the energy is still there. Need a base plate for this one. There we go. Now, I do have a bunch of expendable base plates that I just filled at the bottom with clay. That helps it really stay on, so that's usually what I go with, though I'm not sure if anyone else would agree with that. Now let's see. Focus that. And I do find that putting it on auto locked is the best way to film because it stays focused without changing the light or anything like it would with manual or auto. So we all learning from bro. I'd be honest. I learned everything I know from YouTube. So let's see here. I always try to move my camera a bit with the characters just to kind of emphasize whatever action they're doing. Let's see here. Maybe a bit less. Oh wait, it's still 5 FPS. Okay, I usually go with 10 to 12 frames per second personally, but it's usually just a matter of preference what you go with. Okay. I think it might be this light up here causing our lighting issue. Oh, it also looks better without that one. Okay. Interesting. We should keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to try this on manual. See how that looks. That looks like something from Doctor Who. You know, I actually been wanting to get back into Doctor Who. I heard they did a new series on Disney Plus or something. I do have a tool for this. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. No. That'll work. But yeah, I was a fan of the original Doctor Who, so I was trying to get back into it at some point. There we go. But yeah, it is a good series. I would recommend it to people I know. There we go. Just using tweezers for the fingers because it is easier that way. You see that the clay is keeping the hand in place pretty well. Let's put that back. There we go. Twist it a bit. There we go. See how that looks? Okay, that actually is looking real good. The robe I do have to be mindful of because it will move in ways that I can't predict, and that is very not good. Let's see how that looks. There we go. That should work. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, I'm not going to judge too fast, but I would say that this is going real good just based off first glance. There we go. I'm using this little tweezer looking tool here just to move the fingers. So that's what I would recommend for figures like this with like wires and stuff and all that. Just a bit more. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now, if the lighting doesn't change, which, you know, I actually have had an issue with before, then we should be in the clear for this. And again, I am starting with one of the easiest scenes to animate, just to get a feel for animating this fella. And also just to get the trailer out for the short, because that is main priority on the channel right now. Now, I don't know if that interrupted anything, but I do have an extension on my computer that plays a Foxy jump scare randomly every couple of minutes. So, you know, if that tough twin, thank you, bro. I have been called tough by many people. The toughest, even. One time I was the president of the United States, but y'all weren't looking, so. Y'all probably just missed it, is all. I might turn down the frame rate to 8 for this. Interesting. What could that possibly mean, Lol? Don't worry about it. You know? If you just don't worry about it, then, you know, it's fine. So, you know? See how it looks? Okay, maybe I moved the camera a bit forward there, but I think I should worry about it. I think you shouldn't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Okay, that stays pretty focused. Maybe go with program or auto lock there. There we go. Now manual. Now, if y'all don't get what I'm doing here, then neither do I. So don't even worry about it. You know, the classic saying. If you don't worry about it, then it won't worry you. I say that all the time, chat. You have no idea. Okay. This is a bit scuffed right now, but I'm going to roll with it. Because I think there is potential in this low run here. Because in the end, it is animation. You never know where you're going to get. Like, it's like a box of something. Whatever the guy says. There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. Playing Secret of the Mimic while watching stream, and it is both the least and most stressful experience ever. Yeah, I have heard a lot of hate for most of the Steel Wolf FNAF games, but I don't get it. I've played most of them besides maybe FNAF Help 1 and 2, but you know they're pretty good from my experience. I don't get the hate. Because I get that, you know, it abandons the original format of the games, but you know, it's not like they're bad games. Matter of fact, I'd say the Steel ones are better than the original. Maybe a hot take, but see where this is going. I think it refreshes the experience. Yeah, because the original FNAF games they're not bad by any means, but they're not great. They got their fame solely from. I mean, I'd even say how good they are for clip farming. I mean, maybe I'm wrong there, but you know, that's my theory, game theory, if you will. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm getting a bit of light flicker, but that should be able to be canceled out. The Mimic is such a cool antagonist. Yeah. I didn't like William Afton as an antagonist past Pizza Simulator because he was supposed to be dead. Gonna hang out, gonna head out. All right, see ya. But yeah, he was good up until it was supposed to be done. Because you know, he was the main villain for a while, and yeah, I get that people appreciate or like the games for that. Sometimes, God bless. Thanks, you too, man. But you can't keep going with the same villain forever. Honestly, you have to switch it up at some point. And the Mimic is not a bad villain by any means. I'd say. There we go. It is a really cool concept, if not a bit overdone in media, but you know, you're never going to have an original idea these days. See how that looks? Okay, I'm getting a bit of light flicker, but it should be easy enough to cancel out. Well, they don't lean heavily into the Mimic's whole voices thing. Yeah, I think that should have been played on a bit more because it is a really nice idea. And I do know that there's an entire ending based off of it. The dispatch one where, you know, your Uber driver is crashed, you can pick up your meal. You know that meme. But it would have been cool to see it done to a better capacity than it was because it was a really nice idea. There we go. Maybe undo that frame. There we go. Have you played Secret of the Mimic? I have not played it personally, but I have seen playthroughs of it. So I will save some of my opinions for when I've actually played it in person. But from what I've seen, it's not a bad game at all. So, who knows? Maybe I'll even stream it. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. I'm better at this than I thought. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I might be the GOAT. There's two mimics, yeah, M1 and M2. I'm a little bit fuzzy on the lore itself, but I'm decently certain that only one of the mimics actually got a body, unless I'm wrong. There we go. Now, I am curious if I do want to post this test here on YouTube. And I will if you want to, because I haven't made a short enough. And, it might be cool to see, but I don't know what you guys want. But yeah, I did watch a lore video on Secret of the Mimic, and I did hear that there are two different mimics, or at least two copies of the same program. But to my knowledge, the one that we see in the game is M1 or M2, my bad. I might be LARPing here, but oh my gosh, that is immaculate. Call me Gordon Ramsay because I just cooked. Let's see here. I'll show it to the camera in just a few seconds. What is a chef if not to serve? There we go. Very nice. Maybe have a bit of bounce back. Ooh, lore message. Take a break here. It's not canon, but I think M1 is the one in Merman. It makes sense since M2 Secret of the Mimic looks nothing alike. And M1 is trapped in Edwin's basement. Just theorized that the Pizzaplex was built over. So I'm pretty sure Glitch Trap is controlling the Mimic. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'd have to do my own research, but that does sound, based on what I've seen, that does sound pretty solid. And again, that's not what I heard, but, I could always be wrong in any regard, so don't worry. But that does sound like a very plausible explanation in my book. There we go. But yeah, I will. I might even start a lore channel on my own because I am very interested in that kind of stuff. Then maybe have him twist his hand open here. And I actually am working on a custom Mimic stop motion figure out of little wires and stuff. So, maybe I'll do a Secret of the Mimic stop motion. But, I already have like 4 things announced. So, maybe I'll wait on that. Let's see here. Now, the thing I always prioritize with stop motion is easing in and out because that really makes the motions feel fluid and natural. And, occasionally with like a robot or something of that nature, I will disregard easing in and out because it's a robot. It won't follow all that. If you do something like that, I'd like to apply for roles of voice actor. I mean, hey, there is a voice actors tab in my Discord. Go find that. And I am always looking for people to VA in my animations. Matter of fact, Galactic Bricks is appearing in the first episode of The Plot, which he did apply for that position in my Discord. Just leaning forward a bit. I know I'm in it, but never quick enough to get a role. All right, well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I do know that, for stop motions coming, I fully cast Iron Lung. I fully cast The Plot. Ruler of Everything. I might need someone to VA, but Blacktron Legacy is really going to be your ticket there. Because there are going to be 6 voice acting roles in that. So, once I get that announced, feel free to apply all you want, man. I'm always looking for new people. And I'll try to apply. All right, but yeah, I love including my fans and stuff. It's always such a cool experience just to see what they can provide and all their talents and stuff. Like in my newest rap song, where the instrumental was actually made by one of my fans, so I will be sure to credit them. I'm the guy who didn't know you were colorblind and asked why all your art was green. Oh yeah. I actually am green deficient colorblind. It's never been a huge issue. I can still drive and everything. So, it's just an issue once in a while if I'm doing a colorblind test, obviously it's going to be an issue. But actually didn't know I was colorblind until just recently. So maybe a couple of years ago I found out, but it actually is a pretty recent thing to me. Yeah, I have been working on getting maybe some colorblind glasses just to combat it a bit if it becomes a bigger issue. There goes the background. But at the end of the day, this is an animation test. We don't care what happens to the background. Nothing that can't be fixed with editing anyways. I will have to push it back a bit though. Man. This background never wants to cooperate with me. I've been thinking about making a stand for it. Let's see here. That ought to do it. Ooh, no one's watching. Maybe I should show my face. Oh my gosh. No, someone's watching. Never mind. You didn't hear that. Nice. Okay. Now, the thing with fabric and stop motion is that you really have to be careful with how you move your figure because you never know how that fabric is going to move with it. And, it's never a huge issue with me when I'm animating with Lego because the most fabric I'm ever going to have is like a cape or something. Let's see how that looks. Now, of course, whether or not this ends up in the finished stop motion is kind of up to how good it ends up looking. Because it is just a test. See how that looks. There goes that freaking background again. But lucky for me, I did just finish that scene. Show it to the camera maybe while I'm here. A little behind the scenes. This is my app I use. I use Stop Motion Studio, the pro version. I did use the unpaid version for a bit, but the editing in the pro version was just too good for me to not get. Can you see my face in that? Nah. But yeah, I do have a bunch of apps. I use BandLab for music, YouTube for YouTube. I use KineMaster for editing, Among Us for when I'm not editing, Discord, all that stuff. But Stop Motion Studio Pro is my go-to for animating. Lol, thanks. I am told that I'm extraordinarily funny. But here, let's see what you think of this. Wow. I could maybe do a bit better on the fabric, but dude, that's really clear on the screen. Better than I thought. But yeah, the only issues I'd have is the background moving, maybe the fabric, but other than that, it's like amazing. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's actually better than I thought it would be. Oh my gosh, wait. Side note. Where is it? This piece. I'm looking for where this piece goes for so long, and I just realized it goes on right there. Man, let's just chat. I like the way his rope moves with his spindly wire fingers. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good. It's kind of like maybe even a bit Nightmare Before Christmas-esque, which is also a lot of inspiration I draw from for things like this. I could hold on. This lighting here at the start, I'm not a big fan of. But I could always just turn up the brightness there. Here, I'll show you what I mean when I say that the editing here is just really good. Deselect. So I will go here. I'm trying to do this on camera, so it might be a bit of an issue, but I'll go to edit, light, and I could turn it up or down. Usually I'll just go like -1, and that should suffice. But then I usually start with usually 5 or 6 buffer frames. So I can just copy that, paste, 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 and paste. And you see, I start with buffer frames because it gives the animation time to sort of sink in or it gives a frame sort of time to sink in before you just like jump right into it. And occasionally I will have to edit these other frames, but it's really useful because doing it in my editing software, matching it up with the frames, and there. Oh my gosh, that actually helped a lot. Better than I imagined, but here, hold on. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hate to be that guy, but I think I'm the GOAT. That's for my first time animating. I mean, that's really good. I mean, I'd say at least, not to toot my own horn, but I probably will work on animate. I mean, do I have to really? I mean, the background's the only issue, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, whether I think it's good or not is what really matters. And viewers don't like it. Yeah. No, that is a successful test if you ask me. But I will probably end it there. Thank you all of you for coming. I will be sure to stream next time I can. And it's been real. I'll see you in the next one. See y'all in the next one. Hold on. End the stream. End the stream. End the stream, please. Yep, end the stream.